Okay guys, so I said that I would put together a little something about the newly obtained Copics that I've got. These guys right here. The Copic Chow brand. This is what I got for gifted for Mother's Day, and this is the one that I've fallen in love with. I do get Sketchbox. I do get the Sketchbox box. And over the last several months I've gotten, like, they'll send me a Copic, a certain style or whatever. This one's called the Copic Sketch. It's the oval shaped one. Oval shaped. It still has, they all have a chisel tip and a felt pen tip, which is very cool. I prefer the felt pen tip for blending. That's me personally. I just feel like it does a better job. It doesn't lay down the color as like thick and strong right away. Personally, I think that's a better way to go. This one's called just a Copic, and this one's called Copic Wide. This one, actually I lied, it doesn't have a felt. It has a giant chisel tip. I played with this one a little. Lays down a lot of pigment right away, but I only have one, so I don't really have anything to blend with that's similar other than these guys. Like, I have these Copic Chows and blues, and then I have a few of these. I have, for some reason, Sketchbox likes to send grays and blues. I don't know why. Like, I have a bunch. This is all from Sketchbox. I don't really play in the gray and blue fields per se, but yay. So I have a bunch of those. I just don't really play with that color very much. It's maybe a little, but not a ton. But anyways, I promised that I would do some of my blending. I did a little research beforehand, and there's so much information out there about how to use Copics and how to blend them and what all of these little numbers mean. Like here they have the letters and numbers and the codes. Like there they have E79 and the name of the color. There's so many reasons behind all of that. I'm going to keep it very basic. If you want to learn more, I will definitely attach a link that I found that talks and discusses what all this stuff means. I am a person who's driven by color, and I've always done it this way, so I'm going to use, I typically work with 3 colors, a light, medium, and a dark, and I have all my skin tones off to the side here, but I use them combined with others. Like I don't just use these 3 and that's it, and these 3 and that's it. I'll use this one, and I'll use this one, and I'll use this one. So I'm going to keep them off to the side. So there might be a little pause in between as I'm looking for the correct numbers, because I made a little cheat sheet for myself so I would get you the right information. But I am going to do, I have 3 different skin tones that I'm going to work with you guys today. And I don't know if all of you have watched my journey so far with the Copics. I got them for Mother's Day. I've had them just like you've seen. I got the Sketchbox one, but I've never really enjoyed them so much because of the way they blend. I don't think that at least I didn't think that they did what they said they were going to do. But I was wrong. I will say it here loud and clear. I was wrong. I just needed to spend a little more time with them and figure them out. And that's what I did. So the first color I'm going to use here, this is just for like a fair, like medium tone skin tone. This is a fair. Again, I work with the brush tip. So the first color I'm going to lay down is E21. I'm going to take a second to write each color or the numbers before it. So if you guys go, I love that skin color set, then you'll have it. Okay. And that's the chisel. Forgive me there. And then I'm going to lay this one over, not completely covering. And you see, I just brush it in. It's not super technical. And then that's my third. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to go back and blend really fast. This is the first one I use. I'm going to lay that into that. And then I'm going to go straight, the medium tone. I'm not going to go back with the dark. I'm going to go back with the medium tone and blend that in. So now I've got a good, and it's got to dry, and now I've got a good blending gradation of color there. So this would be the color, the light one would be the color that I would have laid down first over the whole face. If you have a big piece, I would do sections at a time because you don't want the ink to dry before you get a chance to blend. So if you have a big piece, do a section with the light, and then go in with the medium, the mid-tone, which this number is E33, and then you'll go in with the darker. Now this would be like where the shadows are. These, and this is E35. Now if you want some richer, deeper shadows, you can go in with E37. Why is it that I like the felt tip, but I always open up the chisel tip. And then this one, I will go in with my E35. See, I did it again. E35, and I'll blend that in. Okay, so those are those. I'm going to put this one. This one is E37 for this guy. I'm going to make it just a little further. I did it again. Make this a little further. And if you want to take this a little darker, you just kind of lay down a little bit more color. Now there are darker browns. There are darker browns, but for this skin selection, this combo, I don't want to go that dark. I will just take my darkest one and I'll go in and I'll just add a little bit more to make it darker. Now, also in my set, you can buy them, you know, loose too. You don't have to buy them just in the set. This is, it has no color. It's a blender. Now, if you have some sections, it depends. I'm not super crazy about this, but I wanted to show you guys because sometimes it gives like a little, and it's an effect, it's a cool effect, but it gives a little gradation in there. It's kind of, not even a gradation. It gives it like a little bit of a mottled look. Let me see if I can get close without it blurring on me. Okay, so it gets a little, here, I'll do it here in the dark. Because what it's doing is just blending the inks. And see, sometimes it doesn't really pick up any ink, but it pulls, it like bleaches out the ink. Kind of like a Tide stick does when you have a stain on something and you put it in. It bleaches it out a little. It's a look, but it's not my favorite. If I wanted to blend this a little bit better, I would take my lightest one, and I would take it from the beginning all the way down. Now, mind you, I've already gone in with this colorless blender, so it's going to be a little different, but I didn't really too much over here. I would take my lightest one and I would blend it to just kind of smooth out the tones, okay? So that was set one with this one. This one's also going to go to a different set. So I'm going to zoom back out. Oops, zoom back out just a little. And then my next cheat sheet list, I have E33. Is this E33? No, here, E33. Oh, I lied. Look, this is going to be a next set. E33, E35. Now this would be for like if you wanted Hispanic skin or African American skin, this is where I would go with this one. These colors here. And it's E37. There's a lot here. E47. Okay, so those right there. Okay, so now I'm going to play with this one. Same idea. I'm going to see, let's see if I get the filter. Oh, I could look, but it takes too much time to look. So this is my E33. You see how already this one compared to this one, this is my base color, then this one's the next color. Yeah. And then my E35, is that on my, yep, going to overlap there just so you can see it. And I will come in with this again, come back with this and blend those guys. Now I saw some of the videos on YouTube. I was doing some research. They said that they go in a circular, look at that, 3 in a row I got the felt tip. They go in a circular motion. I don't really see a difference there, personally, myself. I'm going to come back in with that second one and blend over that right there. Look at that, that's looking pretty sweet. And then my last color is E47. Oh, I just blew my luck. Spoke too soon. And then this one is E47. Okay, that's pretty dark. But I'm going to come back in with that last one and soften it up. Okay, so this one was E33. This is E35. This one was E37. And this is E47. So I'm going to extend that one a little bit more. I did it again. E47. And I'm going to go back with this guy. Soften it up. I'm not going to use this one, the colorless blender, because I don't like it too much. I don't like what it does to the ink. And then, like I said before, I'm going to come in with the lightest of those 4. If I just want to, I think this is actually a pretty good blend right here. But if I want to unify the entire thing, I'll just go over it one more time. Ta-da! So those are those guys. Okay, now we're gonna go for like the pinky creamy tones, okay? The pinky creamy tones. I have one more. I have E51, E51, E00. Where are you? E00, and YR00. Now, when I was looking at all the stuff on YouTube, I'm like, I work with the colors, the light, mediums, and darks, but I kind of am a rebel, I guess, in a way. I don't really follow their formula because these all mean something. The letters mean something. The next, it's like one is the gosh, I wish I'd written it down. Maybe I did write it down. Hang on. See, I said I wasn't going to do this, and now I'm going to. Copic system. The letter tells me what the hue or color and family it belongs to. And then these are called, E's are for earth tone, so these are all earth tones. And then the second part of it is, that means the saturation. So 5 is the level of saturation of color. A 0 to 9 range. The lower the number, the more saturated. The higher the number, the least saturated. Okay? So if they want you to play, like, I would do like E51, E52, E53. That's what I should be doing, but that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it this way because I've played with these colors. I don't have all those colors, and this is what works for me, and I really like how it turns out. But just to repeat, the first, the letter, whatever it is the actual color family. The E is for earth tones. It's the color family that you're going to work in. The second is the first number on the marker itself, which means the saturation of color. 0 to 9 range means the lower the number, the more saturated the hue. So this is E51. So 5 is higher than 1, so that it's going to be lower. 5 is going to be lower in saturation, where 1 is going to be higher. And then the third number tells me. Wait, did I write that down? Yes, that's the same. So the third number is the lower. It's the same value. So if it's higher, the 0 to 9 is the range. The lower the numbers, the lower the saturation. The higher the number, the least saturation. Have I confused you completely? I will attach that link that I got that information from because I thought it was helpful. But again, I'm a rebel, and this is what works for me. Okay, so my first color I'm going to lay down is E51. E51. And that's almost the same color as the paper. And then I'm going to go E00. It's a little bit darker. It's getting a little peachier. And then I'm going to do YR00. And there we go. We have that. And then I'm going to come in with the second one and blend that into that. Look at that line. These are wet. These are double wet, so it's a little darker right now. And then I'm going to take this lighter one and blend that into the second. And then I'm going to take it all the way across. What? It's beautiful, right? And if you want, if you're like, you know, there's not enough shadow in there, I think I'm going to take my E21, which is over here. My E21, which is right there. Let me find it. Where did I put my E21? Oh boy. Uh-oh. Where did it go? Am I looking right at it? E51, oh, there it is. I'm going to put my E21 and I'm going to come here because it's a smidge darker than that, and I'm going to add that in. And then I can go, okay, I like that. You know, some people like a really soft, delicate palette. I tend to be a little bit more bold with my colors. Even with my graphite, I like a dark, rich line. I like the deep, deep shadows. And I can just keep building. You can totally keep building. A couple of the tricks are, you need to make sure that, like I said, if it's a big piece you're coloring, don't color the whole thing at the same time because you do not want it to dry out quicker before you can start your blending. So you're going to work sections at a time, and in a minute I will do like just a basic shape. I'm not like a face shape. I'm not going to do all the detail and everything, but I wanted to give you some. Oops, E51. Well, that didn't work. And of course my eraser isn't working. E51. Ay. E51. E00. And then YR00, and then I went in with my E21 also. E21. Okay. So those are some family color palettes. I think that's a pretty good an arrangement of light, medium to dark. Yay. Okay, so now I'm going to move over and find a clean piece. I don't want to be blurry. And I'm just gonna keep it simple. Okay. Let's get rid of some of those extra lines. When I work, this is actually a heavier lead. This is a 0.7. I usually work in a 0.3, so it's not, I don't really worry about the lead getting into my strokes and stuff. It might show up a little bit in this because of the pencil I'm using, but that's okay, I don't mind. Okay, so my E2 one is, I'm going to do this one. This first one I did because I really like that color palette. The girl with the dreads, that was what I used. This one right here. This one is the one I used for the girl with the dreads. I have never actually drawn that dark before, the skin that dark before, and I really, really enjoyed it. But let me tell you, I was very nervous because I was not sure how well these were going to work. And I had drawn everything out and spent a long time creating that piece. And so I held my breath when I first started drawing to make sure that it worked. But it did. I was happy with its results. I will say I did go over it quite a bit. Okay, so I'm just going to go over, I'm going to lay the color. The pencil. I'm not going to hit the pencil because I don't want that to show through if I can help it. I'm just going to do half. Okay, so the next color is E23. This one, or sorry, E33. E33. Oh, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. Ay, ay, ay. E33. I'm going to come back and fill that in. Now, don't panic because you'll be like, oh my goodness, it's so dark. It's all wet. You're putting ink on top of ink and you're not giving it a chance to set in between. Give it a minute. I do. I made the mistake when I was playing of just loading and loading color, and it usually stays within the shape that you create. It doesn't bleed, but because I just kept adding and adding and adding, it started to go outside, and I was like, ah, how do I stop this? Because it was bleeding into other colors there. So thank goodness I caught it before I kept going, because it could have been bad. Could have been really bad, and I put a lot of work into that piece, and I didn't want it to be ruined. I was able to save it. And then this is my E35. And I'm going to go back in with my E33. Oh, always pulling out the darn chisel. Pulling it into that. Now, you guys can watch this and go, ugh, she doesn't do great. Look how great it is. Only way you'll know how to make it actually work is if you do it yourself. Make these cheat sheets. Make these cheat sheets and play. Just play with the color and see where, like how much it takes, how much pressure it takes for the pen, from the pen. Where is that color? E37. How much color it takes, or how much pressure you need to give in order for the pens to blend, to mix together. Okay, so I'm going to go back with this one. And you'll start to get to feel a feel for it. You're going to get a feel for it and see. Now this, I geniusly don't know why I drew the shape, but I did it in an egg shape. So I'm creating like, kind of making it a little, if I had eyes and a nose and a mouth there, I wouldn't have these large spans of color. The color, the whole thing would be this color. And then I would have small, you know what? Sorry, but we're going to do this a different way because I am not digging how. See, this is trial and error. But I'm glad you're seeing this. I'm glad you're seeing how this is playing out because I've not done it this way before. I've just drawn my face and then I have, let's go to another clean spot. I've just drawn my face and then I'm going to lay out my lines real quick. And then I've colored. Okay, we're going to just do. So So now now let's just get real. I was just making sure you guys are paying attention. All right. All right. So E21. Can you see this? Yeah. Where am I at? Okay. So I'm going to lay color down. Notice I'm not keeping my strokes all in one direction. Because technically, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter because it's going to dry. And you're going to be blending on top of it anyways. I'm going to do this side first. E33. And then I would go in here, and here, and here. Throw a little shadow up on the side of the head, a little under eye shadow, a little face shadow. See it coming together? Being that I have drawn faces probably a gajillion times in my life, I know where shadows land. That's the number one thing, the number one kicker. If you're not comfortable doing shading on a face, I would study that first before you get into these pens. Look at what that did. Look at how cool that looks. With just two pens. I used E21 and E33. And all of a sudden I have this depth happening. I mean, what? But let's get back to what I was saying. So if you are not comfortable or don't know a lot about shading, where shadows should land, like around the eye, you know, up, like on the forehead, the bridge of the nose, the tip of the under the chin, like and the cheeks and stuff, where this would be the lightest spot. If you don't know that, I would play with that first before, or maybe practice those tools first before you get into this, because the shading and knowing where things go is super important for something like this. Now this is a little darker, and so I'm not going to add a ton, but it's all about the layers with this. It's all about the layers. Okay, I'm going to go back in with the medium tone, which is E33. I'm going to lay that color. Did I do that wrong? No, I did that right. And then I'm going, it's a little too dark, so I'm going back in with the lightest color, E21. And I'm going to soften that out. And you see what that just did? It totally just softened it out. So that's, my friends, how it works. It really is trial and error, so don't be afraid. If you are not 100% comfortable, practice, make a whole bunch of these. Use this. I just got this, and I'm going to show it off. I just got this book. Let me zoom out. Oops, wrong way. I just got this book. I love it. It's super exciting. It's by Karen Campbell. Oh, you can't even see it. Karen Campbell. A bunch of us artists contributed to this. If you want to play, I would say probably print it out on a piece of paper first, on a piece of cardstock, like a sturdy piece of paper. I suggest do not, oops, I dropped my pen. I suggest do not use copy paper. Do not use watercolor paper. I wouldn't even suggest using marker paper for this. I played with marker paper and I think it's awful. I don't think it works. I don't know what kind of marker it takes, but nothing that I have tried. I played with Prismacolor. I have played with Sharpies. I have played with, what are these called? Spectrum Noir. I have all kinds of stuff, and I just, yeah, I don't dig them. So I would say cardstock. I use 110-pound Springhill cardstock that I get off of Amazon. I get like a ream of 250 that lasts me forever for like, I don't even know, less than 14 bucks, I think, or something. It lasts a lifetime. Well, not a lifetime, but it lasts me a really long time. So I hope this was helpful. I will attach the link, like I said, to give you some, if you really want to be super, super duper serious about it, and it'll tell you all this information, what all this stuff means. I personally work from color. That's how I've learned and taught myself. So I hope this was helpful. Please, if you want to see anything else in regards to, I'm thinking of also doing some fabric. I went on fabric and how to do the blending, you know, to get the folds and the movement in fabric and stuff, as well as the eyes and all that kind of stuff. But as you know, I'm pretty new to this still, so I'm still playing, I'm still learning. Also, I don't know if you guys know, but anytime any one of my drawings that I've done, I don't have them because I've sold them, but any one of the Copic ones that I've done recently, I also go in after I do my Copic work and I use my colored pencils. I use my Prismacolor pencils and my pretty Prismacolor pencils. Yay! I have more than this, but these are handy right now. And I play with those. I lay in because I think it cleans it up a little, it gives more detail and refines it and all that fun stuff. So anyways, I love you. Have fun. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. If you, the Copics I know are expensive. You do not need to get the full set. Just get, they sell the neutrals. They sell them separate. So you can just get a few of the, I'm sorry, the earth tones are called earth tones. We learned something new. You can just get the ones that you liked from this charts that I made for you. And then you're good to go for a while. And you can get the different styles. You can get the big guys if you thought that was kind of cool. They would last a little longer. I mean, there's so many. I'm not sure which one would actually hold more ink than the other. Like this is the rectangle, this is oval. These are just regular old pens. But yeah, anyways, have fun, guys. Don't be afraid. Practice. Just play. Just play. It's just art supplies and a piece of paper, truly. And then one day you keep going at it, you keep practicing, and you're like, look what the heck I just did. I'm pretty awesome. Okay? Have faith. Have fun. You can do it. If you have any questions, please go ahead and put it in the comments. I'm going to post this in Facebook as well as on YouTube. So comments anywhere. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.